Thank you for asking me to talk about this issue. So Hong Kong and Europe, as we are talking Europe and Hong Kong today, when we try to come up with ideas for making the city better, a lot of people always refer to Europe. And I will come at the end of this presentation with some images of Europe. But you cannot compare two cities in Europe just with Hong Kong. And this is the reason. We have more public transport vehicles per kilometer road than any other city in the world. So if you take buses, taxis, minibuses, Hong Kong has more vehicles per kilometer road than any other city. So that's called the density of vehicles per kilometer road. So if we take all vehicles on our per kilometer road, then there is only one city that has more vehicles per kilometer, which is in Europe. It's called Monaco. Monaco is very short, almost has no roads. There's a lot of people with cars, so it's not very comparable. So we cannot really compare our cities. And we're building more. And we're building more roads. This is what we're building in Yamade, just above West Kowloon Cultural District. So we're building more roads. Now, if you live up there and you try to walk down to West Kowloon Cultural District, I'm not sure how you're going to do that. The pointer is the top one. This is the pointer on this thing. There's no pointer. Forget it. Try to walk down from the top to the bottom, and then you can see as a pedestrian it's very difficult to do that. And if you're going to be living in Kai Tak, and you survive the lead in the water, and you want to walk to the water, then you can see all the roads that will between you and the water. So it's very difficult to get there. But we negotiate with Highways Department. There will be a footpath that goes under through the roads to the water. But you can see more cars, more roads is not very good for making our city walkable. And there's more cars to come. Hong Kong is now part of the Pearl River Delta, and we are going to open up the boundary, and we're going to build the bridge and more links from the Pearl River Delta to Hong Kong. That's going to give us more cars. So we're going to go from about 40,000 vehicular trips a day across the boundary to about 200,000 vehicular trips a day across the boundary. Can you imagine Friday night when everybody wants to go for a beer in Wan Chai or in Mong Kok? If all those cars are going to be in Mong Kok on Friday night, if you already try to get to Chim Cha Choi on Friday today, you'll have to queue on the highway for 20 minutes to get into the district. So it's a challenge for Hong Kong. We're integrating with the mainland, which is good, but we have to wonder about how people are going to be moving around in our city. So, the big challenge for Hong Kong, we don't have a lot of space for pedestrians, so we need more space. But if we're going to have more cars, then they need more space. So who's going to win? This is going to be the big question for Hong Kong. And this is a challenge we have in Hong Kong, which is not a challenge in Europe. This is a challenge, a very typical Hong Kong challenge. Now, in some places, in Central, the red roads are the ones you cannot cross as a pedestrian. This is Metro Central. So the way we solve that is we give you an elevated network, so you can cross the roads. Now, Central is very good, because there are footbridges and shops and public space. You can sit outside, you can do many things in Central. On the secondary network, there's a little bit of underground, but that's just a train station. So it's really the above the ground is the secondary network. In Chim Cha Choi, these are the roads that are difficult to cross as a pedestrian, the red ones. And we have a big underground network. But how do you get from the station to the waterfront? So it's not very easy to navigate. I've asked people when they stood here to find the cultural center and they got lost, they got over there. And I had all people that were born in Hong Kong. Oh, there was only one person who knew the way. The person was working in the cultural center. Nobody else knew how to find a way in the tunnel. So secondary network is good, but you can do it badly. So we'll have to think about that. This is Tune 1. Tune 1, the red roads, difficult to cross, or not at all. And we have an elevated network. Who lives in Tune 1? Ah? Nobody? You live in Tune 1. So how do I get from there to the waterfront? How do you walk? Aha! Can you show me which footbridges you use? Yeah, hard to point it out here. So, but if you don't live in Tune 1, how can you find your way from over there to here? So when we do a secondary network, which we need in Hong Kong, we've got to figure out a way of doing them good and not badly. So, but if you live in Tune 1, it's good, because then you know your way. But if you don't live in Tune 1 and you're a visitor, no way you find your way on the footbridge network. Tai Kok Soi, not sure who lives there, the big highway, all big roads. How do you get from Mong Kok to the waterfront? So the network is designed for the train station that's there. So to get to the train station is easy, but if I ask you how do you get from Mong Kok to the waterfront, it's no longer easy. I have to go up and down and up and through and past and down and over, and then I'm at the waterfront. Now if you're an old person or you can't walk very well, then that's not very good. So it's not very good for some people at all. So if we design networks like that, we should not ask the MTR to design it. We should have the people of the district design it, so they design it for the district and not for the MTR station. So we need them, those networks, but we have to do them good and not poorly. Otherwise we get this kind of situation where, big roads, difficult to cross, and so on. Now, the challenge for Hong Kong is not that we don't want to do it, but is that the government is not very organized. Which you knew already. But the problem is, how much do we charge? So if a building wants to connect to the footbridge network, they have to pay a lot of money. Because the government will say, well, if you get a footbridge, then there's a lot of people go inside your building, so you have to pay $1 billion land premium. And then the building says, well, I don't want the footbridge. That's why we don't have a network in Mong Kok. That's why we don't have a network in Kowloon Bay. But we've had the plans for many years for Mong Kok and for Kowloon Bay. It never happens. Because there is one government department who wants to make the plan, and the other government department wants to take the money, and the developer says, no way. So, problems we need to solve, because we need to get good networks. Otherwise Hong Kong cannot be a good city. And then we have all of these problems, where you have to go up and down, or these problems. So this is electric road. I used to be able to cross the road here. You can still see it there. The old crossing is there. But now the pedestrian has to walk around, because it improves the junction. It improves it for who? The cars. It doesn't improve it for the pedestrian, for you and me. So we have to think about how we're going to deal with more cars in our city. This is actually a video which I won't show you, but mum with their little son, when the car comes around the corner, she has to jump back. And I stood here for an hour and I found an old man who tried to cross, cannot cross. Another woman who tries to go forward and then the car almost goes on her toes, so she has to jump back. So we're always fighting. So again, it's not very good how the pedestrians. So pedestrians should be given priority if we want to be more like a European city. But then in Hong Kong Island we have many old roads, and this boy, 12 years old, sent me this PowerPoint slide of him going to his school. There's no footpath. in a world city. Because we have never spent the money to widen this here, because that's expensive. There's a drainage channel underneath. So we have to figure out ways of these things. So what I need you to do as students is report missing links. So if you see any places where you can't cross or roads without footpath, you can report them and we can ask government to fix them. There are other problems. If you want to have your lunch in the Chinsha Choi, you have to sit here. Or if you go visit the Golden Bohemia and you come as a tourist, you have to sit here. Or if you live at a housing estate, you have to bring your own chair. Or if you wait at the bus stop in Tinkock Road or in Chateau Coq Road, you have to bring your own chair. Or your own school bench. Or in some places there are no chairs. So we have another program called Missing Seats. So you can report missing seats and then we push the government to put more seats. Okay? But there is a phone app which tells you where to find the toilet. But if you want to be able to make the city walkable, you need to get toilets, otherwise how can you walk the city? And it's hot, so we need water. And there is now a phone app that tells you where to get water. So water, toilets, and footpaths are important if we want to make our city a more walkable city. And you can help with that. To make our city a more walkable city. And I want to show you, is that correct here? So, I think that works. Am I okay for time? There's 1 minute left. So this is pictures of, what's he doing there? This is pictures of, I don't know. This is pictures in Europe of cities in, let me just try to go back. There you go. Try to go back. This, if I type in pedestrian streets, then Europe will have a lot of this kind of streets where we have moved out the cars and make sure we can walk there. And now we're working on a program for Hong Kong to do one too. This is the one that we want to do. This is in Devoe Road Central, and you know this one as well. We're all working together, trying to get government to take the buses off Devoe Road Central, so we can use it by tram and on foot. This place, we think we can do it. But we need everybody to help, which means do not call your district councillor about the fact that we moved the bus stop. Because everybody always complains that they have to walk another 10 meters, and then things don't happen. So don't complain, okay? You have to walk 10 meters more. But if you walk 10 meters more, you can walk here. So it's very nice to walk. So if you make the city nice, you can walk further. It's nice to walk further. It's not a poor, no air pollution, no trucks, no buses. You would love to walk here. So please help us, don't complain. Thank you.